everybody that comes in here and criticises the P76, they've never driven one and never had anything to do with them. Once you've driven one or you guys that own them, they love them. You've got to have a P76, you've got an Aussie collection.
Yeah.
It's a Fairmont.
Fairmont,
74
okay.
Fairmont.
So this is something you did?
Yeah, yeah. Anyway,
So what did you have originally? What sort of state was this in?
Oh, pretty fair. He was driving it around, yeah,
Oh,
pretty
okay.
fair. I put another engine in it. It had a 351 in it, but I didn't like the sound of it.
Okay.
So I got another one and done it up. And then
So the Fairmonts wouldn't have been the races. They'd have been it would have been a Falcon. Fairmont's like going up the range, isn't it, in the way of the trim levels, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know a lot about them, to be truthful, but Jim Richards got the car from Ford as a body shell.
All right. Yeah.
And he built it up to the race car, you know.
yeah,
So
right.
this was a Fairmont, or still a Fairmont really. The badges are still in the glove box. But yeah, I wanted to have a car of Jim Richards, but I didn't want to do a BMW or a Nissan or something like that. And I'm going through a Ford book one day. I think the Ford book's on the back seat, and I come across a picture of this. And I thought, wow, why don't I do one of them? Yeah. So I chased around. I found this car locally, only down at Narracon. And I brought it home and started work on it, done everything, you know. And the interior is not like Jim had it. Jim had that.
Yeah, you had it. Yeah, it's a bit
different.
It's a bit plusher than going around the track on.
Anyway, yeah, this is the way it's ended up.
Yeah.
Jim's driven the sand down and one thing another, you know.
All right, yeah.
He's been there, done that.
Okay, the lights off again. One sec. Oh yeah, definitely ain't. Definitely not race trim inside.
No.
A bit more luxurious than.
Yeah.
And what year is this one?
70.
Ray?
Oh, this is 74. The car, but
so that makes
the
it
race
an
was
X.
77.
What would that make it? An X what?
XB.
XB.
Yeah.
Of course, you got the. That's when they went over to the painted bumper bars, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
So Ford's not your be all and end all for
Look,
you.
it never used to be,
Right.
because I was barracking for Chargers when they were racing, and everybody else was barracking for Fords or Holdens.
Yeah.
But as you get older, you know, you got to. If it's built in Australia and it goes like hell, it's fine by me.
Right.
You know?
Okay. so what drew you to Chrysler? Did you like the
I
underdog?
bought a Charger new in 72 because I liked the look of it.
Right.
I was mad keen about those HT Holdens.
Yeah.
And when the Charger came out, that was August 71.
Yeah.
And I kept on and my wife until December 72. She said, look, if you want to have a Charger, you work out how to pay for it because I need all your money. You know, we'd built a new house and we were paying off the house, and she had her budget worked out, you know, and it didn't include buying a new Charger.
Sure.
So I started driving taxis 3 nights a week so I could pay for my Charger. So that was the last time I ever had to finance on anything. I traded the Holden I had in on it, and Nan didn't like it. She drove it to work every day, didn't like it. The boot lid was too high, the doors were too heavy. So 3.5 years we lasted.
Yeah.
Anyway, I did sell, but then I started suffering withdrawal symptoms.
Right.
Oh, I wish I hadn't sold it.
Right.
So I went and bought one that had been damaged.
Yeah.
It had gone sideways into a pole, into a light pole, in the wet, and put a real big dent in the door, ruined the door and the sill, but never hit the roof. I actually drove it home, went to the wreckers and got another door, got a new sill and put in and got it all going. I had that for quite a while. That was the start of it.
Yeah.
I started, you know.
So what did your old man drive?
Dad was into Hudson's mostly, I remember.
Oh yeah.
When he was young, but he Humbers.
Yeah. Oh right.
Yeah, Humber Hawks, and he had Hillmans. And, well, he was the Hillman.
I mean, because they weren't much changed, the British cars for Australian roads and whatever. So I mean, they fell apart pretty.
No, bloody few they did.
No, because actually the
Humber
export market.
Humber Snipe was a really classy car here.
Right.
And he was Humber and Hillman agent.
Yeah.
From when his father had the agency, and then he took over from him after.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big long story, but you don't want all the details. And then Dad sold it later on as a going business, the Humber Hill agent, and I was about 13, I think, then. And my first new car I bought was a Hillman.
Right.
Yeah, and I've known here to bought.
Yeah, I suppose they did. It was all about trying to get the overseas currency, wasn't it? But for the British cars back in the UK, so they had to build them something for Australia certainly to last somewhat.
Yeah,
it was just that obviously, I mean, they probably last better here than they did in the UK because they didn't have
Hillman Hunter won the first London to Sydney Marathon.
Of course it did. 68,
68, wasn't it?
68, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Somewhere about there.
Yeah.
But that was a real boost from when they won.
Yeah, I bet.
But I've always liked them. I've had one here, but
Did they come in knockdown kits over here? Did they or?
Yeah, I think so. They were assembled here in Australia.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Yeah, this Falcon. That's another.
There we go. This.
Another Fairmont.
Well, this one. Is it?
Yep.
Oh, but you've done it up as a GT.
Yep.
Okay.
It was just a white car when I got it.
Yeah.
And I put all the bits on it. It's a matching numbered Fairmont, GS Fairmont.
Because it's GS.
GS.
See, this is quite interesting.
GT.
I'm seeing a few more people are quite happy to leave because they've just got something different. Everybody else was doing up their cars as GTs or whatever.
But this is 20 years ago.
You did it 20, yeah. But I'm quite intrigued by a GS or what's the other one as well?
GT.
So there's a GT, no, the GS and the 500 as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. The 500 is pretty much a basic
car. Yeah. But I don't mind, seeing something that's just original and, Povo spec or something like that. I love them.
Yeah, well, this is pretty much as I got it, except I've done the seats.
You can see the old Fairmont. That's is it Fairmont badge, isn't it? Yeah.
That's it. I've left that there on purpose.
Right.
So the purists come in and say, the GT guys don't like replicas.
No.
Well, I think they've adapted to it now, but back in the day, you done the GT replica, you couldn't join the club.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why I left that there.
Yeah.
On
so
purpose.
you're not pretending it's
I'm not pretending
than what it really is. Yeah.
That's right. I think I had a replica sign on it once somewhere.
Yeah. Right.
But it's a nice car.
Yeah. Good driver.
Nice to drive, yeah. It's one of the best starters and one of the best, sweetest running engines ever. Those 302 Windsors.
302, yeah.
302 Windsors. It ticks over like a clock. No matter how long it sits here, you got to get the petrol up, but once it starts, it'll tick, almost idles from the start.
Right. Okay. Oh, so you went in, got the old dash, little centre console thing there.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can see the, hang on, let me
my cousin Adrian's got tags on this car, and his second daughter's getting married around about Christmas.
Yeah.
And he's using this as a bride car, so stuff he's got on the seat and that is things he's doing to it to make it road ready to get it registered.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'm not frightened of closing any of your doors, mate. They all some cars I like go to and can I open it? It goes all right, and then you feel it drop down a little bit.
And it goes clonk when you.
And I'm thinking I've got to close this thing now, and I get scared. And I think, geez. But each one of yours is.
Yeah, well, that's one of my things, of course. Doors have got to shut properly.
Well, you couldn't have an Aussie collection without
a P76. You've got to have a P76. You've got an Aussie collection.
Yeah.
I buggerised around with this with a spoiler on the back and the thing on the front, but it's just for my personal satisfaction to individualise it a little bit, I suppose.
And you've got the Targa Florio stripes down the side, haven't
they? Yeah. I had a Targa Florio here at the same time as this at one time, but I sold it at a museum at Gosford.
Okay.
Yeah, this is not a factory fit. This was, I found it at a swap meet and put it on, and I give it a coat of paint, and it looked good, and I said, right, I'll put a second coat on it, so I let it dry a little while. and when I put the second coat on, it was started coming out bubbly. So I've got to rub all that down and do it all again.
Okay, so let's just have a quick look at this famous 44-gallon
boot.
Here we go. So famously, cool, yeah, you can definitely see that'll hold a 44-gallon tank.
Didn't clean that very good, did we?
Oh, mate, okay.
In 1973, we had a friend in Melbourne that we used to visit, a good friend, or my wife's friend, she was, and we went around to see him at Christmas. It was just after Christmas, day after Christmas. And we went around to see him for Christmas and that. And here's this brand new P76 sitting in the driveway. And I said, oh, they got visitors. So in we go. And I said, I was looking for the visitors and I said, who's the P76? She said, mine. She said, I've only had it 2 days. And I said, you bought a new P76? And she said, yeah. She said, I love it. Anyway, so I got really interested in it then. And I went out and looking at it and she said, would you like to take it for a drive? And I said, would I ever? So I took it for a drive and I tell you what, I was really impressed. Yeah. And I still, everybody that comes in here and criticises the P76, they've never driven one and never had anything to do with them. No. Once you've driven one or you met guys that own them, they love them.
Absolutely.
Absolutely love them.
Yeah. I remember the first one I saw when I first came over here, owned by a chap, he's a paramedic, I think. Yeah, he is. Reddish purple one up in Reservoir. Yeah. And I saw, I was like, bloody, I was blown away because it's like a little, well, I say this is, the 47 is the unicorn thing, but you just heard about, till the internet came along, back in the UK, you never saw it in blooming magazines, you just heard about this. A big Leyland with a flipping great big engine and all this sort of thing, designed and built in Australia. Yeah. But that was a crying shame as well, because it has got funny little quirky design proportions and whatever, but there was a wonderful video done by, in a series done by, oh God, Grant, look at that. I could do that all day long. That wonderful video, David Hardy was on the design team at Leyland. Shannon's had done this series, Design to Driveway. And he talks about the P76 of how Michelotti was invited in to do some, or his team were invited in to do some, final tweaks to the design. And they reckon, David reckons, there was like 8 different models put up with the original designer of the P76, his one. But when they came along in the next morning, these Italians had bloody pulled all the paint and everything off of his final design one, and then in favour of their work. So their work got picked. I don't know how far different it was to this, but he reckons it was a lot prettier. It was pretty much the same sort of design, but there's little design quirks on here that make it made it not as pretty as the original design done by an Australian fella. So yeah, these Italian designers came in and sport his design, apparently, his original design. I can't believe how the Australian guys haven't got onto these things. These should be a whole lot more popular than what they are, because they're built in Australia by Australians, and they drive really nicely. Yeah. They do everything right as far as I'm concerned, but they got criticised for quality control. Right. And you speak to anybody that knows anything about it, and they say that the cars were being pushed down the assembly line so fast because people were waiting for them, had orders for them, that the quality control wasn't good. And you might be driving along and the headlight switch will fall off on the ground floor or something. And the motor and riders crucified them for it. It was wrong. Same thing from, well, you're getting that hangover from the British press as well, I guess. The British-made cars, everybody knew they were falling apart. And they're probably getting this. The pommy shit they used to call it. Pommy shit. Yeah. All right, okay. But this is a 4-speed as well. Yeah. The Targa Flora I had was an auto. Evidently all Targa Floras were auto. Oh, really? Right, yeah. Okay. Even though it's, I generally cut off at 1999.
All right.
But we'll go and have a look at the new Monaro.
Righto, that's 2003.
Okay.
I had a black one beforehand that used to belong to my cousin, and he went and died. Anyway, he had 2 daughters, and I done a deal with them.
Yeah.
And I had it here for a couple of years, and I thought, oh, this is not my style. It's, I can't get it on a couple of 2. Worked out, when you work out how much you got to pay to get them registered and the RADwood and everything on them.
Yeah.
And then I said, no, I took it down to auction and sold it. And a couple of weeks later, I said, what did I do that for?
Yeah.
So I started looking for another one. And I found this one at Gosford in New South Wales.
Right, yeah,
I've got a mate in Gosford. He went and looked at it. He said, it's a really nice car, except the paint's buggered on. And I said, oh, righto. And he said, he's a nice guy, the guy that owns it, And I said, righto. And the price was about $10,000 less than all the rest
Oh, I
of
was going to say $10,000. I'm like,
This was
That's
20,
right, okay.
28. 29, yeah, no, 30,000 he started wanting for it.
Yeah.
The price come down to 28, and then I got it a bit less. But anyway, I brought it home and took it straight up to the paint shop and had it painted.
Yeah. It's a lovely cut.
Beautiful.
It was the
Hot house
original
green.
colour?
Yeah, oh,
Right.
yeah.
Hot
Still,
house green, Nick.
hot house green, yeah.
Beautiful.
And if you look around the doors, that's all original.
Yeah. Right,
Geez, it's a nice car.
let me
Lovely
just-
to drive.
Let me just, here we go. Yeah, I mean, this was a bit of a hero car back in the UK when it turned up on Top Gear.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Vauxhall eventually brought it over, didn't they? And rebadged it.
Yeah.
But when Richard Hammond drove this on the Top Gear, everybody was like, "Oh my!" And did he drive the Vauxhall? He drove the Vauxhall one. But we were like, "Oh my God, the Aussies are doing this! Why can't we have this kind of thing?" But my God, they were so expensive. I mean, this was up near because of the strength of the dollar at the time. This was up the same sort of price as a BMW M5.
Oh,
And they sold a few, but they couldn't.
I'd have one of these instead of a BMW M5. They're a pain in the arse, them things, aren't they? Every time something goes wrong, it costs a bloody arm and a leg to fix it.
Well, it would do, yeah. I mean,
And if you bring a BMW in on your own, if you have private import, BMW Australia don't want to know you.
No, exactly, yeah. Is that a green
Green.
dash, yeah?
Yep.
Oh, that's bloody lovely, that is. Yeah.
Well, one day I got in that Mustang, the white Mustang up there, and I went for a run out the road, halfway to Rosedale, and done a U-turn. I took particular notice. I was just driving the car and listening to the car, and I come back, parked it in, got straight into this and done exactly the same thing.
Right, yeah.
Now, to choose between the cars, the only thing that would make me go to the Mustang, or out of these two, was the Mustang's 5-speed and this is auto.
Right. Yeah.
But probably if it was the other way around, I'd like this better.
Yeah.
But this is a superb car to drive. Absolutely superb.
So there's nothing.
And heaps of grunt.
There's nothing that age has done to you that makes you want to. You just make them all autos now. Then you still prefer a stick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many advantages to having a manual. Even if you've got a flat battery, you can roll start it or tow start it or something.
Yeah.
But this having to get a bloody jumper thing or get the RACB to just because you've got a bloody flat battery, that's a pain in the arse.
You got total care, I'd imagine, with your RACV, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've been in it for over 50 years. I've got a badge on.
All right. Well,
I've got my RACB hat on.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Ray, this has been an absolute delight, and I've got to really tell you that I've been so grateful you've allowed me to come along and have a look about. And yeah, well, long may it continue. That 4.7, unfortunately, are you replacing it with something?
Well, come and I'll show you.
Oh, right, there we go.
But I don't really want to make a big deal about it because it's, I don't like, my workshop, I'm one of those guys that once I start on something, I'm like got tunnel vision for that.
Yeah.
And like, I make a big mess, but I'm not cleaning it because I haven't got time. I'm working on this, you know, sort of thing.
Ah, right, okay.
So this,
Well, they've got names for these things nowadays, don't they? You've got an affliction of some kind.
yeah, I have. Yeah.
Right, okay, so,
so
we've got a workshop to look at, hey?
yeah.
Oh. Here we go.
Ooh, the sun's out. It's quite nice. Now that's the latest project.
Oh, wow.
But if you only just do a bit on the car, don't show the workshop much because it's a bloody mess.
No, well, it's a workshop, mate. It's a workshop. Okay, so this came to you in, well, we can see what...
I've only had it about 3 months.
Okay.
And stripped it down, the doors are over ready to go. Had no motor, no gearbox, no seats, no dash.
What year is this, buddy?
72.
72. Is it anything?
6-cylinder.
Right, okay.
3-speed manual.
So, what are the things you've learned since doing the other ones?
Yeah, well, mostly, like,
see
there's a rust hole there.
Yeah.
Never seen a rust hole there before, and one there.
Right.
This was rusty here.
Yeah.
And we welded in a plate.
You do all your own welding and everything?
No, we've got a young bloke that comes and does it.
All right,
I can weld, I've got welders over here, but my welding is not pretty.
Yeah.
Until I've been going for about an hour.
Right.
And then I start getting the flow of it. But this young bloke is a hell of a nice guy. He's a 19-year-old and he's in his final year.
Is he really?
Boiler.
19 years? Oh, boiler maker. Yeah,
Boilermaker,
yeah.
And
but he loves his classics as well.
yeah,
Oh, it's good to hear. It's good
and
to
a
hear.
really nice guy. So this is what I start with.
So what sort
And
of
then,
can I ask what sort of money this sort of thing would collect nowadays in this condition?
Oh,
Or no, you don't need to say. You don't
yeah,
need to
50
say.
or 60.
No, you know that you paid.
Well, I paid for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well I paid 7,000 for it.
7, right? Okay.
He wanted 12.
Right. Okay.
And I went and looked at it. It was down at near him south.
Yeah.
And I'm standing there looking at it.
7. Now that's without an end.
Yeah, just virtually the guards are on, and everything was on, but no motor, no gearbox, no dash, no seats.
No,
No
right,
interior
so you're
at
essentially
all.
a show and a chassis.
Eh?
Basically.
Yeah, just a rolling body shell.
Rolling body.
And I'm standing there looking at it and I went, he said, what do you reckon it's worth? I said, man, I reckon it's worth half what you're asking for it.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, really? And he stood there looking at it. You know how long a minute is if you're standing there silent with somebody? A minute's a long time. I reckon he stood there for a minute and he said, would you pay 7 for it? I said, yeah, I'd pay 7 for it. He said, oh no. So give him 7 grand for it.
Yeah.
But that was really too much. I still say that was too much.
Right.
But thing's never been in an accident.
Yeah.
Nothing has been bent on it. The chassis rails are perfect. And I've got everything. I've got everything to put in it.
Oh, you right?
See, I've been wrecking Chargers and Valiants for years.
Yeah.
I've got a dash panel out there that's out of a 76 VK Ute.
Yeah.
And I lifted the whole dash panel out, dash pad, all the wiring and all the instruments all in it. And I'm just all going to bolt it all back in again.
Yeah. Well, that's it's great to see how the work progress, how it comes back. These cars, some of these cars, I mean, nowadays you finding cars, there's such a limited supply of them now that cars that would have originally been put in a bloody scrapper.
Yeah, I used to I took 3 charges in my life to Sims Metal.
Yeah.
And some of them weren't as bad as this.
Right. And
wouldn't do it now.
considered this as a project 25 years
No.
ago? No.
No, too far gone.
Yeah. Yeah. But the value in them now
Value
is such,
now, like back then,
Yeah.
they weren't worth anything.
Yeah. No, it's great to see.
But the body is dead straight, never been hit.
I
There's
can
not a
see,
spot on it that looks like it's ever been
what's I love to hear the detail.
Well, that's non-original.
Right,
That's
okay.
non-original.
So what?
And it was a red car, see, it was hemi-iron,
Yeah,
and they painted it yellow.
And what spec would this be? Or
This
what are
is,
you going to
this
do?
is what's called an XL.
Right, okay.
The XL badge goes in there.
Yeah. Are you going to put it back to original? Or
Yes,
yeah.
near enough.
Right.
I'll probably put those stripes on it because everybody likes the RT stripes on it.
Yeah.
But it won't have RT on it anywhere.
Right. Okay.
It's 265 3-speed, very similar to the first car I bought new.
Yeah.
That was 72.
No,
as
it'd
well.
be great to see. And you filled in the roof on this one as well, have you?
Yep, yeah, sunroof, but I hate them.
Why is that?
I don't know. Look, factory ones are good.
Right,
They're all right.
okay.
But these guys that put in, you know,
Okay.
that one leaked like a bloody sieve.
It
Look at
wasn't
the holes,
original, right? Okay.
you know, rust holes.
Yeah.
So it's just sitting out the back there. I couldn't get it out quick enough.
No, it's amazing. It'd be great to see you follow the build on this one,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Well, there you go. When I get it finished, I'll let you know.
yeah, awesome. Well, again, mate, I'm going to have to say thank you very much for allowing me the time
all
and allowing me into your space.
What's it? Have you got a channel, or how do we get onto it on YouTube?
Well, it's Dave's Classic Garage Tours.
Well, hang on. I'll have to
I'll
write. I'll have to write it. You haven't got a card, I suppose.
Yeah,
oh,
I do.
sorry.
Yeah.